We were meant for each other. Sister Wives Meri Brown reveals heartwarming life update after unexpected living situation proves she moved on from Kody. Sister Wives star Meri Brown has found new meaning in her life after leaving Kody Brown and the rest of the Brown family in 2023. Meri was Kody's first legal wife, but she and Kody divorced in 2014 so that he could legally marry Robyn Brown and adopt her children from a previous marriage. Kody and Meri remained married spiritually, but after years of neglect, she followed other Sister Wives season 19 stars Cristin Brown and Janelle Brown and officially left the family patriarch. The Sister Wives star has been happily navigating her new life after being married for over 30 years. Meri shared a photo of her adoptive dog, Zona, to her Instagram page and shared in the caption that she and Zona are meant for each other. She noted that her dog hasn't been feeling well lately, so she tried to keep her close since Zona fills my heart. Meri adopted Zona back in early 2024 as part of her new life after divorce. In addition to moving away from the Arizona life she shared with Kody and the rest of the family, Meri has had the freedom to live her life on her own terms. By adopting Zona, Meri is able to indulge in her maternal nature and care for her dog, especially when she isn't feeling well. Meri's admission that she and Zona are meant for each other may not have anything to do with all the speculation lately about her dating life. Pet owners often equate their love for their pets to human love, so Meri's proclamation about her love for Zona probably doesn't mean anything is going wrong or right with any relationship she might be in. Meri was in a relationship with Andrew Amos, but they reportedly broke up. Still, Meri doesn't talk openly very much about her romantic interests or who she might be dating. Her post about the love she feels for Zona might be a way for the Sister Wives star to be open about her emotions without subjecting her any relationship to public scrutiny. A love for a pet is very different than a love for a partner, after all. Meri has a lot on her plate right now. She recently moved, and she's renovating her bed and breakfast, Lizzie's Heritage Inn, which was in Meri's family for generations. Meri has a full social life with her friends like Jen Sullivan and Amber Mallon. Out of all the wives who have embraced their new lives after leaving Kody, Meri's journey has been surprising. Meri was the most reluctant to leave Kody and the most reluctant to find legal representation to fight him for her rights to Coyote Pass. It took Meri more time to come to terms with everything that went down in her marriage. If she wants to prioritize her dog, it's her right to do so. Dogs are less drama than humans, and Meri's had enough drama to last a lifetime. Meri Brown sat in her cozy Utah bed and breakfast, watching the sunrise spill golden hues across the rugged landscape. The crisp morning air carried the scent of pine and freshly brewed coffee, a combination that had become a comforting ritual in her new life. She took a deep breath and smiled, feeling lighter than she had in years. Life after Kody Brown had been a journey, one filled with heartbreak, healing, and most importantly, self-discovery. For decades, she had been part of a plural marriage where love often felt conditional, where she had fought for scraps of attention that never truly nourished her soul. But those days were over. Now, she was the architect of her own happiness. As she sipped her coffee, her phone buzzed with a text. "Thinking about you this morning. Hope your day is as beautiful as you are." Meri's heart fluttered. She hadn't expected love to find her again, not in the way it had, but life had a funny way of bringing the right people into your world when you were ready to receive them. She had met Daniel unexpectedly, on a trip she took alone, seeking clarity and peace after leaving Flagstaff. He was kind, patient, and, most importantly, saw her for who she truly was, not for who she had been in her past life as one of Kody's wives. He didn't see her as an obligation or an afterthought. He saw her as a woman worthy of love, of partnership, of joy. The transition to this new life wasn't without its challenges. Moving away from the familiar, from the community she had built over decades, was terrifying. But in stepping away, she realized she wasn't losing anything, she was gaining herself. The bed and breakfast, Lizzie's Heritage Inn, had become more than just a business venture. It was a symbol of resilience, a testament to the strength of the women in her family. It was where she had found herself again, away from the chaos of polygamy, away from the pain of being cast aside. Her unexpected living situation, moving back to Utah full-time, had initially felt like a retreat, a return to safety after so many years of feeling lost. But as the months passed, she realized it wasn't a retreat at all. It was a homecoming. Meri stood up and walked out onto the porch, letting the sun warm her face. She had spent so many years living in the shadow of a man who had long stopped seeing her. But she saw herself now, and that was enough. As she looked out at the vast landscape before her, her phone buzzed again. "I can't wait to see you tonight," Daniel's message read. She smiled, heart swelling with warmth. She had moved on from Kody, and in doing so, she had found something even greater: herself, her happiness, and maybe, just maybe, a love that was truly meant for her. Meri Brown took a deep breath as she looked out the window of her new home, the golden rays of the setting sun stretching across the horizon. This was it. A fresh start, a new chapter, one that no longer revolved around waiting for scraps of affection from a man who had long since stopped seeing her. She had spent years trying to prove herself, to hold on to something that was already gone. Kody Brown had made his choice long ago, and now, finally, Meri had made hers. And surprisingly, it had been an unexpected turn of events. One she never could have predicted, that led her to the realization that she had truly moved on. It all started with a twist of fate. After officially closing the doors to Lizzie's Heritage Inn, Meri had been at a crossroads. She had spent so much time and energy building up her Utah bed and breakfast, only to feel an unsettling sense of restlessness creep in. Something was calling her elsewhere. And so, she packed up, sold the inn, and set off on an adventure of self-discovery. She had landed in a charming town in the Pacific Northwest, drawn by the towering trees, misty mornings, and sense of peace the place offered. A friend had connected her with someone looking for a house sitter, and before she knew it, she was living in a quaint little cottage tucked away in the woods. At first, she had intended to only stay a few months, just long enough to clear her mind, figure out her next steps. But then, something unexpected happened. Or rather, someone unexpected happened. A life meant to be. Meri hadn't planned on meeting anyone. Romance was the last thing on her mind. She had spent too many years entangled in a one-sided love story, and she was still healing from that. But fate had other ideas. His name was Ben. He was the owner of the property she was house-sitting, a rugged, down-to-earth man with a quiet strength about him. He was nothing like Kody. He wasn't flashy or obsessed with being the center of attention. He didn't talk in circles or make her feel like she had to fight for his love. He was simply there, steady and kind, showing up in little ways that spoke volumes. It started with small things. A cup of coffee left on the porch for her in the mornings. A warm fire crackling in the hearth when she returned home on a chilly evening. Little handwritten notes with words of encouragement left on the kitchen counter. At first, she brushed it off as simple kindness. After all, they were just two people temporarily sharing space. But as the weeks passed, she began to realize that it was something more. She had never known what it felt like to be chosen, not as an afterthought, not as an obligation, but because someone truly wanted her in their life. With Kody, she had spent years feeling invisible, like an accessory rather than a partner. But with Ben, she felt seen. And, for the first time in a long time, she let herself believe that maybe, just maybe, she was worthy of a love that didn't require suffering to prove itself. Breaking free. Meri had spent so many years believing that her worth was tied to her role in Kody's life. But as she settled into her new reality, she realized just how much she had lost herself in that dynamic. Gone were the days of waiting for a text that never came. Gone were the nights spent wondering if she had done something wrong, if she had sent something that had pushed him further away. She was free. And it was in that freedom that she found herself again. For the first time in years, she laughed without reservation. She spent mornings journaling by the lake, afternoons exploring hiking trails, and evenings wrapped up in deep conversations that didn't leave her feeling hollow. She had thought she would be alone forever. That was the lie she had told herself for so long.